Welcome to the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, Tuesday, October 14th. I'll start with the call to order and roll call starting on the left.
Frank Mills.
Kathy Messenger.
Mark Haskell.
June Jackie. Carla Stardom.
And Kevin Tibbet.
Right, Gray. Sean Stahl.
All right. So we do have a quorum and all members are present, so no alternates will be seated this evening. Starting with our public hearing, item A, 25-14SP of Michelle Blackwood, requesting a special permit to construct an 884 square foot accessory dwelling unit at 15 Penny Hill Road, Assessor's Map 15, Lot 75, Lot 42, RA 30 zoning district. Do we have anyone speaking for the applicant? Yeah, come on up to the microphone and just give us a brief overview of what it is you want to do.
Yes, I'd like to add on just just actually dwelling for my grandma. She moved in and I have enough space, and that's what we're doing over there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So this is a public hearing, so if there's anyone in the audience with a comment or a question on this application, this is your opportunity. And just to review, Ryan, you've reviewed the plan and it does meet all requirements?
Yes, this will be an 884 square foot ADU above the existing, well, above the proposed garage. And the existing house is 1,370 square feet. The ADU will be approximately 65% of the overall house size. And that will also go down because she is planning an addition off the rear of the house for an additional living room and bedroom.
Okay. Any questions from board members? Okay. Last call for questions from the audience. Okay, hearing and seeing none, I'll entertain a motion on the public hearing.
Move to close.
Second. Motion to close by Bart and a second by June. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, public hearing is closed. Moving on to item B, 25-16SP of Angelo Petrocelli, requesting a special permit for a 1,512 square foot detached garage on property located at 178 Black Hill Road, Assessor's Map 7, Block 78, Lot 110, RA 60 zoning district. And do we have speaking to the applicant?
I am Angelo Petrocelli, the owner of the property, and we would like to construct a 1,512 square foot detached garage on the property.
Okay. And Ryan, you've reviewed this plan. Any issues?
I found no issues in your packet. You do have a so you have a layout on the property, and you also have elevations for the garage.
Okay. And just confirming that the second floor will be used as storage?
Correct.
Okay. Any other questions from board members? Okay, this is a public hearing. If there's any comments or questions from audience members, this is your opportunity. Okay. Hearing and seeing none, I'll entertain a motion on the public hearing.
Make a motion to close it.
A motion to close by June and a second by John. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, public hearing is closed.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Moving on to item C, 25-2ZC of Ernest Colello Jr., requesting a change of zoning district from RA 30 residential to C2 commercial for property located at 495 Norwich Road, Assessor's Map 1P, Block 53, Lot 20. And we have speaking for the applicant.
Yes, good evening. For the record, Greg Blog from Killing Engineering Associates, who places business at 114 Westcott Road in Danielson. I'm going to pass out large-size copies of the map. So the property is located at 495 Norwich Road, which is at the corner of Route 12 and Cemetery Road. It's 6.2 acres in size. Currently it is zoned RA 30, and we're asking for it to be zoned, rezoned to a C2 commercial zone. If you look at the map in front of you, the dark purple area is, shaded area is the parcel in question that we're looking to change. I show the other C2 zones that are across the street and a little bit further down the street that are commercial zones. Currently, there are things on those properties. There is some real estate offices. There's a gas station and convenience store in this section. There's also a roofing store across the street from this property. Next door to us, there's residence, and further down is the trailer park, and then there's another commercial site further to the north down Route 12. Behind us, we do have the Providence and Worcester Railroad at the bottom of the hill that leads down along Cemetery Road, and then the zone behind us on the other side of that railroad is all industrial. There's Austin and Propane down there. We have the Providence and Worcester Railroad Yard and the facility that we work on. There's a couple of trailer terminals or truck terminals back there that operate. What led us to looking at this as a commercial zone that make it seem like a good fit for the site is that there are municipalities here. We have gas, sewer, and water. This is a signal intersection at Route 14A, basically intersects Route 12 at this site. So that's some of the reasons we're looking at changing this zone to commercial development. The other item that I did look at was the plan of conservation and development for the town of Plainfield. And some of the goals that they established in the PCOD is to formulate an orderly approach for future development. And it says that the town should encourage development of areas that have existing planned infrastructure, water, sewer, and public transit. The intent is to enhance the ability of existing commercial centers to prosper while encouraging new commercial development. So those are some of the items that we need. And the only other part of the POCD that I would read into the record is they specifically talk about the Route 12 corridor. And specifically this section from Route 14 down in Central Village, or close to Central Village, all the way to Route 14A, which is Academy Hill Road that's right across from us. Basically, that's known as part of the Route 12 corridor. It's the central section of Route 12 corridor. And what their recommendations in the POCD were, that portion is fairly developed with separate curb cuts and businesses. And it says that the town should continue to promote mixed-use development as this is consistent with the existing properties. So basically, that's what we're looking to do. We are contiguous to the commercial zone across the street. 2 of the 4 corners here are already commercial. There are some established businesses around us, and so we're looking for the option to change this to that zone. And I'll turn it over to the commission for any questions that you might have.
So this is a public hearing, so if there's anyone in the audience with a comment or a question on this application, you can come on up to the microphone.
Hi, I'm Lisa Trinkus. I'm actually here to speak for Ruth Bergeron, the president of Plainfield Historical Society. This property is in the Plainfield Street National Historical District and identified in Plainfield Accessory Map 1P as such. This is a national district created by the United States in 1991, encompassing an area of historical significant buildings. This was authorized under the National Preservation Act of 1966. The district is marked by official signs on Norwich Road, north of Cemetery Road, and near the junction of Railroad Avenue and Norwich Road. Plainfield Street was the name of present-day Norwich Road. At the time of the creation of the district, pre-existing non-contributing buildings were within the border. No provision for adding non-historic buildings after the creation of the district was noted. This property abuts Cemetery Road on the south. This road is part of the National Historic Trail. the Washington Rochambeau Revolutionary Route, known as W3R. This was created by Congress and passed into law in 2009 as the Omnibus Public Land Management Act, which included the Washington Rochambeau Revolutionary Route as a National Historic Trail. In 1782, France sent 4 military regiments under Rochambeau to America to join George Washington. They took this route, and one encampment was at the bottom of the hill on Cemetery Road. The French joined Washington and aided him in the defeat of the British at Yorktown, leading to the end of the American Revolutionary War. The house on the property is on the Connecticut Register of Historic Buildings. It was built in 1855 and housed significant local residents over time. Past attempts to alter this property have failed to obtain zone changes, including ZBA and Superior Court action in 2019. The Plainfield Historical Society does not support the requested zone change. The historic value of the site must be protected as it is part of the overall historic town of Plainfield. Thank you, Ruth Bergeron.
Thank you. Anyone else from the audience with a comment or a question?
Nick Anderson, 20 Colbridge Road. I'm a member of the Plainfield Conservation Commission, but I'm speaking as a private citizen in this. I concur completely with the Plainfield Historical Society's statement that they just made. I feel that this historical district has been somewhat neglected over the last few years, and this is a chance for the town of Plainfield to do the right thing and preserve this property for that reason, in as much of its original form as it can be. And as the Historical Society did say, no new commercial development has been approved in that district since the district was established. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions from audience members?
Hi, Ernest Cololo, the owner and developer of this property. I've been watching this property for at least 10 years. And the property's been for sale for over 10 years since the original owner, the last owner owned it. Nobody wanted to buy this piece for residential, and that's why I never sold it. I bought it trying to make the best decision for it, and I'm trying to make a decision for the town of Plainfield. Not my pocket, the town of Plainfield. The day that I bought it, I went there and I cleared the property. I had a guy stand, and I said, you stand here from 9 o'clock till 1:30 and count the trucks. He stopped at 1:30, he counted 300 trucks. 75 of them came from Canterbury way up the hill. The rest was coming out of Rawson's and so forth. So I was really shocked to see that. And then the property is almost 1,000 feet long, it's 500 feet deep. Everybody wants to preserve it, but I have to do something with it. So it's either commercial or it's going to be homes. It's the way the ordinance, the way it is right now is R30, so I think I can put 7, 8 homes in there, I believe. I just don't feel that's way more, that's way less of, the property's value. It's 6.5 acres, no wetlands. It's the largest piece at a light in Plainfield left. I understand some. I'm just trying to figure out what to do. I know the old home. I took the newer parts off the old home to try to salvage the home that's original. And it was a disaster. Somebody tried fixing it, and the pieces that I took had to come off because they were non-fixable. I am going to try to fix the house. Try. I'm not sure 100%. I'm getting prices on it, but I feel that it would be way better off to be commercial I'm looking, there's companies, food companies approach me already. If it does, Plainfield eats food. I've never done a bad project in Plainfield. I go above and beyond, and I would do it for the heart of Plainfield. It needs to be commercial.
Any other comments or questions?
I'm going to tell you right off, I'm talking to you from my heart. My name is Sharon Zielinski Cloutier. My aunt and uncle lived in that house. It is historical. I understand that you took down what you had to take down. It killed us, primarily. We're just trying to see that it stays in the historical aspect that it is in. My only thing, I did not have time, I do have a copy of the historical register from 1991 as well. Was the certificate of appropriateness received? My understanding, again, I've been on Google, that's, you have to have that done from the historical district committee. I could not find anywhere online, even on the Plainfield site, if that was received from them. And my understanding was there should have been a public hearing about that as well. Did I miss it? Because I would have been there for that as well. Anyways, I understand. I'm talking from my heart here because of my last name, my maiden name. But it's historical and we need, I don't care if it's houses. By all means, this town needs houses. I've lived here my entire life. We need the houses, but you gotta think about the number of kids coming to school and all that. But commercial, not in that area. That entire street is historical. Again, if you want the one copy that I have from the Historical Society saying exactly what the street has and what's going on, you can have it.
Yep.
Okay? Thank you.
Brian, do we have any registry of the historic nature of this particular property on file?
Yes, so the building that is currently standing was the original house. The front porch and the rear addition was not historical. Those were add-ons. And that is according to our historical registry books. So we do have a historical section of Route 12 that runs from Railroad Ave up to Cemetery Road. This is just north of that historical district.
Thank you for that clarification. Any other comments or questions from audience members?
And I just would like to take a second to rebut some of that. In Greg Flanagan, who's filling the engineering. So the plan of conservation development does recognize a historical district, but as Ryan just stated, it's from this intersection going to the south. The other thing that it notes is, the applicant is aware that it is a historic house, is going to try to preserve it and retro design some sort of commercial use into that, and maybe some newer uses behind it. One of the things that is also noted in the conservation of EOCD is that any development in the conservation areas or in the historic district, they recommend that parking should be kind of maybe put towards the rear of it. But we're not amongst all of those nice homes and churches and things that are over there, although other commercial items are within those. So what we would do here would meet those POCD criteria. We know we can't talk about what the future would be. It's really about the zone change, but we are aware of the historic nature of the property. And I've talked to them already several times, and we have some ideas of what we would do going forward with this. And we would try to put some of those design criteria, incorporate that into final design with this, including, parking being towards the rear and not all up front. That house is fairly close to the road, so that would kind of lend itself naturally to that. And then the property opens up more in the back where some of the new development would be. And I'll just leave it at that. So, thank you.
Howard Haggard, taxpayer in the town of Plainfield. I own two pieces of property right at the bottom of the hill. You can ride a truck rental and ABF trucking terminal. And, I understand the concern with the historical society stuff. That place has been vacant, and I'm sure that if you can preserve the building and use it from that. And, everything down the hill is industrial. We got commercial on all three sides of that thing. So to me, I know what type of job Ernie does when he does something, he does a nice job with all this stuff. So I would certainly be in favor of supporting this.
Any other comments or questions from audience members?
I would like to, Nick Anderson, I would like to draw attention to the planning and zoning to the town of Lisbon that has a village center that has been largely preserved in its original state, and it's a real gem for that town. And so I would ask the planning and zoning to take a page from what Lisbon is doing with a portion of its town center. It has its commercial development on Route 12 with Lowe's and all that, but there's a portion of Plainfield that's still somewhat intact in that area, and I would ask the planning and zoning to look at Lisbon Center there by the church and the town hall and the John Bishop House, and say, we could do something like that here in Plainfield if the will was there in the town. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions from audience members on this application? Any comments or questions from board members? Okay, hearing and seeing none, I'll entertain a motion on the public hearing.
Move to close. Second.
I have a motion by Bart to close and a second by Frank. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Public hearing is closed. Moving on to item D, 25-17SP of David Kettle, requesting a special permit for a 12 by 37 addition to an existing garage, total square foot 1,420 on property located at 206 Black Hill Road, Assessor's Map 7, Block 78, Lot 117, RA60 zoning district. Speaking for the applicant.
I'm David Kettle, I'm applying for that building permit.
And can you just give a brief summary of what it is you're trying
Yeah,
to do?
we're putting an addition on the front side of the garage and a small 5-foot bump out on the west side.
All right, Brian, you've already reviewed this,
Yes, I have.
and it meets all regulations.
It does.
Okay. This is a public hearing, so if there's anyone with a comment or a question on this application, this is your opportunity. Any comments or questions from board members? Okay, hearing and seeing none, I'll entertain a motion on the public hearing.
Thank you.
Close.
Motion closed by Frank,
Second.
second by Bart, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Public hearing is closed. Moving on to item E, 25-18SP of Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers America, Inc., requesting a special permit to modify the site layout of the approved auction facility located at 1260 Norwich Road, Assessor's Map 5, Block 3, Lot 1, Industrial 1 zoning district. And speaking for the applicant.
Yes, hello everybody. Kyle Hobert from CLA Engineers. I know you guys are sick of me about this project, I'm well aware. But yeah, Kyle Hobert from CLA Engineers. I'm here tonight on behalf of the Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers. We are proposing a modification to the previously approved site plan for 1260 Norwich Road. To note that the uses on the property and the plan for the property all remain the same. What we're looking to do is kind of reconfigure the lot layout internal of the lot. So you see the perimeter of the lot and the limits of disturbance all remain unchanged from previous approvals.
Hang on 1 second.
Sure.
Do we all have copies of this one, Ryan? I'm not seeing that we all have copies of this one. So we pass this down? Yeah, for this application. Yeah, you should.
Yep, they're all there.
Okay. Would you pass that one? Yeah. So do you have this one? You just have that.
Yeah, I got these here.
Okay, so I just want to make sure everybody's looking at the same thing. All right, go ahead.
No problem. Oh, thank you. Yep. So you'll note, top of the sheet, Route 12, Norwich Road, going across the top, and then Route Road coming along this side here. Main entrance to the facility will be right in this location here, right across from Topper Road. That remains unchanged. That's part of the previous approval. We're not proposing any change there. The previous applications had this administration building on this side of the driveway. So it would have been right in this kind of notch in here. What we're proposing to do is relocate that building to the east side of the driveway, and all the associated parking will go along with it to the east side of the driveway. You'll also note that the check-in building that is located right here has changed location. At one point that was out in the open area out in here. The shop building and the wash pad remain pretty much in the same location as they had been previously approved. Again, the administration building and surrounding parking are located on the area that was and has been constructed as the phase 1 asphalt milling laydown area. Again, still within that same perimeter of the site, the previous disturbance of the site. Again, the yard building is then located internal to the site here. Again, operations will be the same. The plant operation of the office facility will be the same. The entrance here, as I said, remains unchanged. We did send it to DOT for their review because we're shifting things around on the site. They had no comment and no issue on the on-site modifications.
What's driving the movement of this building?
Partially, it's the excavation that is ongoing here. The tail end of the excavation that's ongoing ends right about at the driveway. So this facilitates the excavation to continue, and then the building can be shifted to the other side of the driveway.
So the check-in building will not be built as part of this phase?
That will be, the admin and the check-in building are both constructed as part of the space, right? Yeah. So the admin and check-in are both going to be constructed here and here.
So then why are we moving the building? If the excavation is going to continue up the road, the building was originally on that side, I'm just confused as to why we're moving things if you're going to keep one piece in the same place where the excavation is going.
Correct, but when the administration building was in this area here, the grade and the elevation of that was raised up higher, so we couldn't excavate all the way down. This now allows us to excavate all the way down into a flat lay down area and check the building in that location.
Any other questions from board members on this application? So just to clarify the fencing and the landscaping. So originally it was going to be the rows of cedars and then the fence and then the property. So now it's being flip-flopped, so the fence will be roadside and then the cedars on the inside of the fence?
That is correct, yes. That wasn't, the posts that are out there were installed flip-flop, and we do show those locations on the front. That is correct.
This is a public hearing, so if there's any comments or questions on the application, this is your opportunity. And if you could turn the board to face the audience so that they could just get a better view of what you're showing. Thank you. So any comments or questions from audience members on this application? So this site has already been approved. This is a request for modification. Any other comments from, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Tim Kander with Ritchie Brothers. I just wanted to be able to answer any other questions you might have. Part of the driver behind these changes is we experienced some internal executive changes right about the time we were ready to break ground. And so I came scurrying back and, my hat in hand asking, to consider our little modifications. Again, it's doesn't change the functionality of the site, doesn't change the operations, just a little bit of a different layout. So, appreciate your consideration and all your efforts on this. So.
Thank you for the clarification. All right. Any other comments or questions from the audience? Any other comments from staff?
Just one question. So on the plan it shows the fence line running just to the north of phase 1 and then down below the building and across. The fence posts that are currently out there, the fence runs north along Route 12 behind the tree line, all the way to the northerly tree line, and then goes down and drops down below phase 1 parking. So it's just for clarification.
Correct. It does. The posts that were installed do run here and then down and across. I would propose to leave those
We just get that modified for the Mylars?
Yes, absolutely.
Any other questions from board members? Okay. Hearing and seeing none, I'll entertain a motion on the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to close.
Motion to close by June,
Second.
second by Bart, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Public hearing is closed. Moving on to item F, 25-19ST of Brett Chivesky requesting a special permit for a 30 by 36 detached garage on property located at 373 New Road, Assessor's Map 33, Block 9, Lot 24, RA60 zoning district, and we have speaking for the applicant.
Brett Chivesky Builder is the name of my company. Looking to build a 30 by 36 garage for the owners, Mr. and Mrs. Waterman, and it will have an upstairs unfinished lot for storage, too big.
Okay. Thank you very much. This is a public hearing. If there's comment or question on this application, this is your opportunity.
Hello, my name is Frank. I'm a neighbor. Nice to meet you. So we bought their property, and they're a great family. They welcomed us when we first moved out here. So we get this letter in the mail. It's our first time, so it's our first new zone. So we just want to know what was going on. I know it started off as a garage, but there was a building there that's been pretty much demolished for the last 20 years. And we finally started taking it apart. So I just want to know, moving forward, will it start off as a barn, a garage, or will it become a condominium? Someone living in the property. So I'm on the down gradient, have a well in my home right here.
Sure. So just to be clear on what the application is for, it is for a 30 by 36 detached garage. If they wanted to do a barn dominium, or also known as an accessory dwelling unit, that's a completely separate application. That is not what they're applying for. So in the event it turned out that they were doing that, that would be a zoning violation. Now, Ryan, detached accessory dwelling units not currently allowed, is that right?
Correct.
All right, so it would not be allowed, period. So if it's a completely detached garage and they wanted an accessory dwelling unit, that is not allowed under current planning and zoning regulations. The garage would have to be attached to the home, and then it would be an accessory dwelling unit to the home. So detached, not allowed. If we found, well, if zoning officers found that that was being used, it would be a violation.
So as of right now, all the perimeters meet all the site.
Correct, because it is being proposed as a detached garage, not an accessory dwelling unit, which is not allowed under planning and zoning.
Great.
All right, you're welcome.
Could you just give your name again for the record? I missed it.
Frank, D-Martino. So we have 327 Road.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions on this application? Any comments from board members or questions? All right, anything outstanding from staff? All right, excellent. Hearing and seeing none, I'll entertain a motion on the public hearing.
Close. Second.
Move to close by Bart and a second by John. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Public hearing is closed. Moving on to seventh and final public hearing. Item G, 25-3ZC of Joan Cormier, requesting a zone change from RA60 residential to C1 commercial for property located at 1261 Norwich Road, Assessor's Map 5, Block 4, Lot 44. Do we have someone speaking for the applicant?
The applicant has requested to continue as they are not able to be here tonight.
Okay, should the hearing be open or
Open, no comment. Yes.
open with them? Okay. So since the applicant is not in attendance and is requesting the continuance, I'll entertain a motion to continue the public hearings next month.
We'll make that motion.
I have a motion by June, a second by John. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so that will be continued to our next meeting, which is actually going to be Wednesday, November 12th at 7 p.m. because of the holiday. So if you're planning on returning next month, it's going to be Wednesday, November 12th at 7 p.m. due to the Veterans Day holiday. All right, moving on to the regular meeting. I will call the regular meeting to order. We do have additions or corrections to the agenda. We need to add under new business item G, which is an 824 referral for Lathrop Road sidewalk project. And I would also like to add item D, November meeting as other. Do I have a motion to add those to the agenda?
So moved.
I have a motion by Bart to add, and a second by John. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, those items have been added. Citizen participation. This is opportunity for the public to address the board on an issue that is not currently a pending application. Are there any public comments this evening? Okay, hearing and seeing none. Moving on to the unfinished old business. Item A, 25-12SP of Roma Construction, requesting a special permit for a modification to an existing earth excavation operation at 1260 Norwich Road to temporarily stockpile material on adjacent property at 0 Bishop's Crossing Road, Assessor's Map 5, Block 3, Lot 1, Assessor Map 11, Block 3A, Lot 4, Industrial 1, and RA 30 zoning districts, and this is a continuation from last month.
Hi, good evening. My name is Jim Luzak, professional engineer with Civil Solutions, here representing the applicant for Roma Construction. Last meeting we did close the public hearing, and I believe we addressed all the comments from town staff. I think the only thing that was outstanding was some question on the original hours and number of trucks filed for the original permit. That's been clarified. The plan is modified. We submitted showing those hours. That's it.
Ryan, did you just want to overview the traffic issue that we continued from last month?
Yes, so we did meet with the applicant, and we explained our concern about traffic being on Bishop's Crossing Road heading south, and also Loop Road, and the applicant has agreed to head out in the northerly direction of Bishop's Crossing to 12, and that'll be the only route.
Were there any other questions from board members about that issue? Okay, so under the application, the town does have some suggested conditions of approval. One, the approval is for the importation and stockpiling of up to 75,000 cubic yards of material excavated from 1260 Norwich Road. Item 2, this approval shall run with 25-11SP of 1260 Norwich Road with an expiration date of June 10th, 2028. Item 3, the restoration bond of $22,500 is to be received by the Planning and Zoning Department prior to receiving a zoning permit to begin use of 0 Bishop's Crossing stockpile area. Item 4, any upgrades to the existing farm road, widening, material placement outside of normal maintenance, etc., will require further approvals. Item 5, the proposed access roads shown on the plan are to be maintained at grade. They are to be created simply by driving over existing soil. No gravel or other material is to be placed, and the access road is not to be upgraded except for general maintenance, such as filling of potholes. Any upgrades will require commission approval. Best management practices shall be followed. Item 6, the access road installation detail is to be removed from the plans. Item 7, interior access routes shall conform to the site's plans revised September 3rd, 2025, and presented at the September 14th, 2025 public hearing. Item 8, the access road is to be restored to original condition after the project is complete. The compacted soil shall be loosened. Any gravel placed shall be loosened and loomed. All areas seeded. Item 9, access to Bishop's Crossing Road shall be allowed for only the material that is stockpiled on the 0 Bishop's Crossing Road property, not to exceed the exportation of 75,000 cubic yards through that access. The truck route for this access shall only be to and from north to Route 12. Utilization of roads to the south of the access, Bishop's Crossing Road and Route Road, are prohibited, as the roads in that direction are narrow and have blind curves. Number of trucks per day shall follow the approval of 25-11SP, 43 truckloads, 86 trips per day for the overall operation. Item 10, hours of operation shall follow the approval of 25-11SP, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. with no holidays. Item 11, the applicant and the property owner are responsible for coordinating with the railroad pertaining to the crossing. Item 12, an anti-tracking pad must be installed and maintained in functioning condition at the Bishop's Crossing Road access. Item 13, silk fence is to be installed and inspected by the zoning officer per the approved plan prior to receiving zoning permit to begin use of the area. Item 14, one set of hard copy plans reflecting the conditions of approval will be required along with the Mylars. Town engineer's suggested conditions of approval. Item 1, activities shall be conducted in a manner that does not cause or contribute to violations of state water quality standards. Erosion and sediment control best management practices shall be installed immediately prior to and be maintained during and after construction as needed to prevent adverse impacts to the water resources and adjacent lands. Such practices shall be in accordance with Connecticut guidelines for soil erosion and sediment control. Item 2, the maintenance of the existing and proposed dirt access road does not allow for the placement of impervious or semi-impervious materials, gravel, asphalt, milling, pavement, etc. The maintenance of the road shall be with the materials that are in kind, unless otherwise approved by the Planning and Zoning Commission. Item 3, an anti-tracking pad shall be added at the access to Bishop's Crossing Road if Bishop's Crossing Road shall be used for project traffic. So when making a motion, if you're going to approve, you can say with suggested conditions of approval as read. No one needs to read them. So any other items for discussion on this application?
It says still June 2020.
Correct.
Is there any kind of, you're going to come back or?
So because this was an extension of the current application, they maintained the current application expiration date. But we do have the purview for an administrative review within, is it 18 or 36 months?
I'd have to check the answer.
So we could require them to come back for like a check-in.
Yes.
So the board could do that. Would that have to be a condition of approval now, or could that be done as needed?
That could be done as needed.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve with the conditions that you read.
Okay. Motion by June with suggested conditions of approval as read.
Second.
I have a second by Bart. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, application is approved with conditions as read. Thank you very much. All right. Item B, 25-14SP of Michelle Blackwood, requesting a special permit to construct an 884 square foot accessory dwelling unit at 15 Kinney Hill Road, Assessor's Map 15, Block 75, Lot 42, RA 30 zoning district. Any items for discussion on this application?
Move to approve.
I have a motion to approve by Bart. I have a second by Frank. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Application is approved. Moving on to item C, 25-16SP of Angelo Petrocelli, requesting a special permit for a 1,512 square foot detached garage on property located at 178 Black Hill Road, Assessor's Map 7, Block 78, Lot 110, RA 60 zoning district. Any items of discussion?
Move to approve.
I have a motion to approve by Bart.
Second.
I have a second by June. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Application is approved. Moving on to item D, 25-2ZC of Ernest Colello Jr., requesting a change of zoning district from RA 30 residential to C2 commercial for property located at 495 Norwich Road, Assessor's Map 1P, Block 53, Lot 20. Items for discussion on this application. So I'll just kick it off by saying the two most important things this board does are text amendments, which tells you what you can do, and zone changes, which tell you where you can do it. I think it's prudent of the board to take the opportunity to review the permitted uses in the C2 zone and the special permitted uses before making a decision. We do have 65 days to act, Ryan. So in the public interest and to be thoughtful and considerate of this decision, I would ask that we continue to next month so that board members can look at all the permitted uses and understand that should we make this change to C2, all the uses that are permitted would be allowed by right, and then there's a list of special permitted uses.
I want the time to review that, so I'll move to continue to next meeting.
Second that.
I have a motion to continue by Bart and a second by June. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Application is continued to next month, which is Wednesday, November 12th. Item E, 25-17SP of David Kettle, requesting a special permit for a 12 by 37 addition to existing garage, total square footage of 1,420, on property located at 206 Black Hill Road, Assessor's Map 7, Block 78, Lot 117, RA 60 zoning district. Any items of discussion on this application?
Move to approve.
I have a motion to approve by Bart.
Second.
I have a second by Frank. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Application is approved. Item F, 25-18SP of Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers America Inc., requesting a special permit to modify the site layout of the approved auction facility located at 1260 Norwich Road, Assessors Map 5, Block 3, Lot 1, Industrial 1, Zoning District. Items for discussion on this application. So it's modification of previously approved. We do have some suggested conditions of approval. Let me read those into the record. Town planner suggested conditions of approval. Item 1, the existing fence line along the road north of the driveway and along the woods line shall be shown on the Mylars. Item 2, Mylars are to be recorded with the town clerk, and a finalized hard copy set of the plans is to be submitted to the planning and zoning office. Item 3, the site must be completed per the approved site plan, and all structures are to be constructed and receive a CO, certificate of occupancy, prior to issuance of a use and compliance permit to commence operations. A zoning permit is required to commence site construction. Item 4, all previously permitted stormwater management systems shall be constructed in accordance with the previously permitted design. Town engineer suggested conditions of approval. Activities shall be conducted in a manner that does not cause or contribute to violations of state water quality standards. Erosion and sediment control best management practices shall be installed immediately prior to and be maintained during and after construction as needed to prevent adverse impacts to water resources and adjacent lands. Such practices shall be in accordance with Connecticut guidelines for soil erosion and sediment control. Item 2, if the settling basin associated with the American Industries Roma Construction Excavation Project is to be constructed concurrently with this application, the settling basin must be sufficient to accept runoff in accordance with the proposed stormwater design.
Chair, can I get a point of clarification?
Sure.
Sean, I'm curious, how do we know if it's currently being built? I mean, Roma's not in the room for that, or whoever's doing the excavation now. How would we enforce that?
Yeah, well, so that's the tricky part, is with these with the two of these applications being kind of linked together with this design, Roma would need to complete their excavation and build up their site for what you see on the plan, right? You know, so that larger settling basin.
Yep.
To accept this runoff. So this runoff now is going to go from the smaller settling basin that was previously approved.
Yep.
There were drawdown issues before where it wasn't drawing down, so there was less storage in that pond, right? So it didn't drain down within 48 hours. So now whenever there's a rain event, it was overtopping and there were issues with that. So to basically account for that, CLA put a design together where now there's trenches, like stone trenches with an underdrain that are going to help that upper pond there, the smaller one, to the second kind of, you know, the newer phase, draw down and then free up that storage. But the tricky thing is that now that drains out to that larger Roma construction excavation project.
Okay.
So that's why I added that as a condition, that would need to be done at the same time. You can't have one without the other. Just like how during any other commercial project around town, you basically let them start construction and build the basin kind of at the same time.
Yeah.
But the problem is, these aren't really it's two separate kind of projects going on.
They are, but they become intrinsically linked as the excavation has changed and the company's trying to build, and it seems like one is playing off the other, unfortunately, due to the constant changes.
Correct.
So what's the mechanism to make sure that this happens? Because I want them to move forward with their construction, but I don't want to be out there finding out there's 6 feet of water because Roma didn't understand that they needed to make a larger basin.
But staff inspects the site. So it's not that you say approved and then they say done and then we look at it. You're continuously looking at progress of the project.
Correct.
And then this would also be served. Are all special permits subject to that administrative review, or is that only gravel operations? That administrative review clause, is that just under the?
You're talking about like 3617.
Yeah.
It's just gravel.
That's just gravel, okay. But regardless, staff has review of the project the entire time.
Correct.
So if there was an issue that had to come back for a site modification, staff would identify it and bring it to us.
Correct.
that sound reasonable to you, Bart?
It does, I just don't think I don't think we could halt Ritchie Brothers if the basin isn't being done by Roma, because they're gonna claim that they're busy in other areas of the site. We can't force one to the other. I'm confused, I'm just concerned that one wants to move forward, the other one says that's not a priority for me, I'm too busy excavating at the south end. How do we keep them linked? Now they very much are together.
Well, essentially though, it would impact the site of the other one, right? So both sites would need modification to address if there was a runoff issue.
So as this is a special permit, we have control over that, but Roma Construction is doing the site work, as well as the estimation.
Okay, so do they fall under the jurisdiction of this change then? So if we give the change to Ritchie Brothers, they are going to dictate that the basin needs to be done, and Roma is their sub.
Correct.
Okay.
All right, thank you for that clarifying question.
And I would suggest we move to approve with conditions as read by the chair.
Okay. I have a motion to approve. Second by Frank. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Application is approved. Moving on to item G, 25-19SP of Brett Chabesky, requesting special permit for a 30 by 36 detached garage on property located at 373 New Road, Assessor's Map 33, Block 9, Lot 24, RA 60 zoning district. Do we have any items of discussion on this application?
Move to approve.
I have a motion to approve. I have a second by John. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Application is approved. Item H was continued, so I'll entertain a motion to continue that.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by June, second by John. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Continue to the Wednesday, November 12th meeting. Moving on to new business. Item 25-10 SPL of Jim Luxick, requesting a site plan review for a new 60 by 80 cold storage building located at 954 Norwich Road, Assessor's Map 10, Block 13B, Lot 15, C1 zoning district. And we have speaking for the applicant.
Good evening again, Jim Luzak, professional engineer of Civil Engineering. I am representing the applicant, which is Roma Construction. Not myself. No clarification there. What we're here to talk about is a site plan application on an existing commercial property at 954 Norwood Road. Folks are familiar with the older building there. It's a machine shop. It was
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have conversations, if you could just take them outside, because we're still doing business and we're being recorded, so appreciate it. Go ahead.
Okay. So this is that property developing, former melting point business. Roma Construction has taken ownership of that building and has moved their world headquarters there. That is the new yard. So we did a change of use there a few months back with the fee. We have approximately 12 employees there at any given time. But what this application specifically is for is to add an additional storage building on the property. It's a 60 by 80 whole building, be used for storage only, and the only utility it'll have will be electric. It'll be located to the rear of the existing building. In addition to that, we've also added a temporary 8 by 40 office area. We'll hold a couple offices in there temporarily until something else is available to house offices.
What specifically makes it cold storage? Is it a chilled facility, a heat facility?
No heat.
Okay.
Any comments from staff on this application?
You know, all the comments have been addressed. You have some suggestions?
Yes, we do. Any other comments or questions from board members? All right. So we do have suggested conditions of approval from the town planner. Item 1, Mylars are to be recorded with a finalized hard copy submitted to the planning and zoning office. Item 2, erosion and sediment controls are to be installed and inspected by the zoning officer before commencing work. Item 3, a zoning permit is required. Town engineer suggested conditions of approval. Item 1, activities shall be conducted in a manner that does not cause or contribute to violations of state water quality standards. Erosion and sediment control best management practices shall be installed immediately prior to and be maintained during and after construction as needed to prevent adverse impacts to water resources and adjacent lands. Such practices shall be in accordance with Connecticut guidelines for soil erosion and sediment control. Item 2, the plans shall be revised for clarification. A call out for the proposed silt fence shall be added in the area of the proposed rain garden. Item 3, the plans shall be revised for clarification. The call out stating all roof runoff to be directed to existing paved service shall be revised to indicate that runoff shall be directed to the northerly existing paved surface. All right, hearing all that, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
With conditions
With
as
all
read?
of the conditions that you read.
All right, with conditions as read. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Bart. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Application is approved with conditions as read. All right. Item B, 25-4, ZC of Rodney Galton, requesting a zone change of property located at 0 Norwich Road from RA 60 residential to industrial 3. This does require a public hearing.
Move that we schedule a public hearing for the November 12th meeting.
All right, motion by Bart, second by June. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, scheduled public hearing in November. Item C, 25-5 ZC of Rodney Galton, requesting a zone change of property located at 0 Plainfield Pike Road from RA 60 residential to industrial 3. This also requires a public hearing.
Move we schedule for the November 12th meeting. Second.
I have a motion by Bart and a second by Frank. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Public hearing is scheduled for November 12th. Item D, 25-11 SPL of Plainfield Pike LLC, care of BL Companies, requesting a site plan review for modifications to the approved parking lot layout at 113 Plainfield Pike, Assessors Map 25, Lot 36, Lot 32, Industrial 2 zoning district. Do you have a copy of this? Plan title we're looking at? Is it number 4 or number 3?
Number 3. We're start with
Number 3? All right, excellent. And just let us know what page number you're on.
This is SP0, which is the site plan.
Perfect.
I'm John Schmitz. I'm a senior engineer with BL Companies, 355 Research Parkway here in Connecticut, representing the applicant. We have 2 items before you tonight. I'll briefly go through the first. This is number 3. The amendment to the existing project previously approved, currently under construction. Looking at SP0, there's an overall plan of the building. Plainfield Pike Road is here on the left-hand side of the sheet. North is facing to the left side, and of course the building oriented in the north-south direction. Item number 3 we're discussing now is the south end of the building. What we previously had is a truck path and a vehicle path around the south end of the building. There was also previously parking that was related to the vehicle path. There was some employee parking at the rear. We had a separate truck drive to keep the trucks out of the employee area. And what we're proposing at this point is to remove the employee parking from that area. So we no longer need 2 driveways. We can get along with 1 driveway now, which would combine for vehicles and trucks. The dashed line that I have here in green would represent the old truck drive. And then, so we're pulling the drive a little closer to the building, removing some impervious area. And then the other item to consider is, in warehouse, we have loading docks against the building. We have truck trailer spots.
across from those living bases. And in the corner here, we're removing 23, proposed to remove 23 trailer spaces. So overall, we're reducing impervious coverage roughly around 50,000 square feet or so. Those areas will become green space. And again, reducing parking. We did receive some staff comments. The plans you have address those comments and provide a letter point-by-point review. And just to point on, we're still in compliance with the parking regulations. So even though we were...
And just to clarify, these were presented today, so staff has not reviewed these yet, correct?
Modifications, correct.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. But, so this is yet to be staff reviewed, so there should be no action on this until we have staff comments.
I am not.
Okay.
So we did receive planning comments, and so what you're looking at are plans that address the planning comments. But yeah, we haven't received anything. I look forward to addressing anything like that.
Okay. So given we still need staff review on modifications, I would recommend continuing this application the next month to allow engineering the opportunity to review the changes. I have a motion by John to continue.
Second.
I have a second by Bart. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right. So we will see you next month after we have those comments so that we can fully review your entire plan. All right. Item E, 25-20SP of Ryan Durfee requesting special permit for a 340 square foot accessory dwelling unit above the attached garage. This does require a public hearing.
Scheduled for November 12th meeting.
All right, I have a motion scheduled by Bart and a second by June. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, scheduled for public hearing. Item F, 25-12 SPL of Plainfield Pipe, requesting site plan review. So this is the item 4 plan in your aisle.
Staff hasn't seen this one either.
Okay. So if you could just give the overview, but once again, without full staff review, it will not be proven. Not be proven.
Well, understood. And what the area we're talking about for this particular item is at the northwest corner of the lot up against Plainfield Pike Road. Currently, it is an exposed detention pond. We are looking to encapsulate that and put it to an underground detention system. The same volume of water will be carried as the town engineer had recommended. It was outside engineer at the time. And basically all we're doing is modifying the structure where the vessel will pull in water from an exposed pond to an underground detention chamber. All the other engineering follows everything that was previously approved. And we do still maintain all the overflows, level spreader, and water control that was previously approved. So it's just a change in how the site will look as you drive up the Plainfield Pike Road.
So this will have a revised landscaping plan because the pond's no longer above the surface, it's below.
Correct, that's in the statute. So basically it'd be lawn.
Okay.
It'd just be more landscaping, more lawn, and not an exposed pond. We were approved for the same type of detention chamber system on the site. It's the same storm trap manufacturer. Again, it's just going from a visual pond to a non-visual detention chamber.
All right. So given we need that staff review, I'll entertain a motion to continue this application. I have a motion by June. I have a second by John. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right. So that's continued to our next meeting, which is Wednesday, November 12th. All right. We also had item G, which was the 824 referral for Latham Roadside project. Do these require public hearing, Ryan? Ever? 824s don't require public hearing ever?
It's just a recommendation to the board of selectmen.
I know, but it seems like if it's a statutory requirement that it should have a little more due process. Yeah, it just seems a little informal to be a conventional sentence. So staff comments, per Connecticut General Statutes 8-24, municipal improvement projects are to be referred to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a recommendation to the Board of Selectmen. Staff attached the plans, the sketch out. Do you want to just give a quick overview of it, Ryan?
Yes, so this has been a project that's been in the works for the past 3 or so years. It started in the beginning of 2022. We experienced several setbacks. DOT came back with numerous comments. They were revising their light pattern for the stoplight, traffic lights over there. And so we have made several revisions, and we finally got approval. So we're ready to move forward, and this has to go before this commission for referral.
So this can be acted on tonight because no public hearing is required.
Correct.
Okay. Any items for discussion on the referral? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Will be approved and recommended to the Board of Selectmen.
Okay. Motion by Bart, second by Frank. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the referral is approved. Review and act on minutes of the 9/8 regular meeting. Any notes or comments? Changes to meeting minutes? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve minutes as read or as stated.
All right, I have a motion by Bart to approve the minutes as presented, and a second by John. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting minutes are approved. Correspondence?
No correspondence.
No additional correspondence. Report from zoning enforcement? All right, nothing new. Report from planning department?
As we just went over, we have approval for the road sidewalks. We're hoping to go out to bid very soon so we can do a spring construction. And we have completed the front walkway. The railings are not set yet. They're in there temporarily. In the near future, they're going to be pulled out, galvanized, and painted. But right now, they are fine.
So they are functional?
They are functional.
Okay, very good. Report from engineering?
Update just on Lions Park lighting that we talked about 2 months ago. Right now we're just waiting for approval from the state. As soon as we have that approval, we'll officially go out to bid. We also received it today for benches and things of that nature, so that's coming together and that will be anticipated either this winter or next spring.
All the lights are going to be dark skies compliant, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
And no light trespass?
Yep. We did the photometric plan and all that.
Okay, very good. Moving on to other.
Question.
Oh, yep, Mark.
Do we have status on the Dow Road Bridge? Is the Army still holding that?
Who wants to take it?
I'm going to ask until I'm not on here anymore, or somebody will today, great. So let's just tell me it's still stuck with the Army.
Yeah, so right now with Dow Road Bridge, it's not stuck with Army Corps of Engineers. It's actually with Connecticut, specifically Fisheries Division. So the issue was there were trout eggs that were observed underneath the undermined abutments. So basically, essentially, the abutments are what hold the bridge up, and the river is washed out underneath those abutments. That gap there is our concern. Fisheries right now, that's providing habitat for trout, and they have trout eggs in that undermined area. So that's currently the hold up. So the plan was to basically restore the riverbed to the elevation that was at before previously. That is not really an option that's on here. So we're looking at alternate projects that can offset this. And that's where it stands.
Is there any danger that we need to close the Dow Road Bridge to traffic?
We've actually been working with the first life. We've reached out to another engineering firm to get a second kind of independent opinion. So obviously CHA, the firm that was here originally, checking before I was here, worked for them. They were involved in the project, so they have done a structural analysis back in 2019. So we brought in basically another firm to hopefully confirm everything. So we're definitely concerned about it, and we're looking into it. Trying to go ahead and
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so moving on to other discussion regarding advisory letter to Siting Council. Am I correct, Ryan? No application has been filed with Siting Council as of today?
checked today and did not see it on there.
Okay, so we're still pending that action, but it is my understanding they have applied to deep air and deep waste. So they do have permits, but there's no roll or public comment in those processes yet that I'm aware of.
Not to my knowledge. I don't know what stage they are in that air quality permit. I don't know if they obtained approval or not.
Could we get that update for our next meeting?
Like,
Okay, perfect, thank you. So we still have the item B discussion regarding implementing violation fees. Did staff have any other research ideas? Did you talk to legal staff, which I think is where we left it last time?
I had never touched that.
Okay, so can we have that update for November as well? All right, and then review and discuss the home occupation regulations. We did discuss at our last meeting that they hadn't been looked at in a while. So did members have anything in that item they wanted staff to look at specifically? I know Katie had provided in the packet.
Starting the packet in every other town.
So just send your input feedback after reviewing Katie's information to her directly.
And then when you need another copy, I can email you.
Okay, excellent. So I added item D, which is just discussion of the November meeting. So our November meeting is always interesting timing with the election. So just for the awareness of all board members, you remain active in your seat through November 17th, regardless of the outcome of the election. So if any board changes happen at the election, they are not actually effective until November 18th, which is after our next meeting. So current board remains as is for the November 12th meeting. So we'll see all that. All right. And hearing and seeing no other business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn by June. Second by John. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.